Another quarter is up for Ubisoft, and things are looking pretty dire for this massive corporation. So, I want to talk a little bit about where this is likely headed for Ubisoft and why we're probably going to see record layoffs in the games industry in 2025. Pretty common theme here. Start off, my name's Ojiro. I've been a game developer for a bit over a decade and a half. This article came out today. Well, not article, they had an earnings report for Ubisoft where they talked about how well the company was doing, and it's not doing that well. They reported a 31.4% year on year decline in their revenue. Now, while that's still a lot of money, it is not a lot of money when you consider that they still have 19,000 employees that work at Ubisoft. And while these people are scattered all over the world, and a great many of them are in places where you've got a much lower cost of living, that all adds up. This is a tremendously large company that doesn't actually produce much in the way of games. Now, they are banking really hard on Assassin's Creed Shadows, which has been kind of embarrassing to look at for everyone that has paid any attention to it. They had Star Wars Outlaws coming out, and they were like, "This is going to be amazing. We're going to love it." Pretty much everyone called it a pretty terrible game. Graphics looked terrible. AI was terrible. But Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? This is going to save everything. This has been pushed off like what, over 6 months now, where this company has consistently said, "Oh, we are really caring about this game," and then they went to saying, "Oh, actually, it's inspired by Japan, but it isn't meant to be historical." And a lot of information has come out from the company where you've got people that are, they don't seem to care. Ultimately, you look at, like, you can point out to Yasuke, you can point out to little minor details, but all of this is symptomatic of a company filled with people that just don't seem to really care. And when it comes to making a good game, you have to look at a lot of the quality points and say, hey, I want these certain things to feel good. I want these certain things to look good. I want the story to look good. These are all things that you can put together in your game if it's a story-based game and make it fun. Games like Minecraft or Terraria, no story, but the gameplay loop is fun. Assassin's Creed Shadows may have a decently good game loop, or like by the time it gets out, it's definitely looked more polished over time. But let's be realistic with looking at this game here. This is one game that has been in development for what feels like forever now. Will Assassin's Creed Shadows even make up for the amount of money that it has cost the company, first off? And even if it does break even, is it going to cover the cost of the other 19,000 people that work at Ubisoft to justify having all those people on staff? This company has not been able to produce games that are consistently making a profit. It has been an unimaginable embarrassment. I still think that even with Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out, we're going to have to see a lot of layoffs out of Ubisoft, because Ubisoft, they're just foundationally incapable of giving a good attention to detail for their games. They're not interested in making games that are fun. You see their games come out and their immediate response is, how do we do this tiered system where we get everyone to pay like $140 plus American and maybe get them to sign up for our service? And now they're like, well, maybe we'll release games on Steam because no one's buying our stuff, because all of it is not meant to be a good game. It is just meant to be something for you to shell out a ton of money over. All of these Western companies have tried to chase this myth of infinite money, a lot of them going towards live service games, a lot of them going towards just dropping the quality and bloating it with stuff. And for what? Like, we have seen 25,000 layoffs over the last couple of years in the games industry. We may see another 10,000 from Ubisoft alone this year. And I still don't see a lot of companies really getting the memo that they need to make good games, that they need to focus on a lot of the stuff that gamers care about. It's this is wild. This is a crazy amount of money for the size of this company. But if we look over at how Asia's doing, Girls Frontline 2 is coming out on Steam. And while these games are by and large just gacha games, which are foundationally using gambling mechanics to get you to pull on characters, in a lot of ways they're like super shady games, but by and large they're giving users what they want. Not all of them succeed, granted. Like I think, was it Snowbreak that game just wasn't fun to play. I will be trying out Girls Frontline 2 this weekend. What a way to spend Valentine's Day. I do want to add one more thing before we go. For those of you that have been around the channel for a while, you would remember that I had some open heart surgery at the beginning of December because I wanted to start the holidays off strong. Got my first statement from the hospital on how much having emergency open heart surgery and staying in the hospital for, I think it was like 7 days cost. Total charges of $706,667. So, yeah, that's a lot of money. Technically, I was uninsured when I went in for surgery. So the second thing I thought of when I woke up was, oh my God, I need to extend my employer's coverage now that it's ended. But that's a fun fact at the end of all this. Thanks for your time. Hope y'all have a good weekend. Farewell.